Let me say this again. America is the last great hope for humanity, okay? We are still the greatest nation in the world. Do we have racism? Absolutely. Homophobia? Absolutely. Sexism? Absolutely. All those isms are still here, okay? However, what's great about America is things can change, all right, and get better. Now, let's take a look at the vote, all right, and how it's being counted by average, ordinary Americans, both Democratic and Republican, okay, working together. Count all the votes. If Donald Trump wins, God bless him, he's president again. If Biden wins, God bless him, he's president. This is a democracy, and that's how it works. Every person gets the right to vote.
History tells you that's a number that's most unlikely to be overturned. They may find, 12 votes here or 12 votes there that were tabulated wrong, but once you get above 10,000, it gets almost impossible.
That's the history of that we're all pretty familiar with. Brian Todd is joining us from Pittsburgh right now in Allegheny County. That's the second largest county in Pennsylvania. Brian, what are you picking up?
Well, we're excited to be here because of the access that we're getting, in this period after the election when questions about transparency, questions about the access that observers are going to have to the vote counting are coming up in all of these states that have not been called yet. Well, we're getting a firsthand look very close to the vote counting. We're here at the elections warehouse in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. It's going to be a crucial county. These people behind me are what they call members of the election board. They were sworn in just a short time ago. What these people are doing, they're going through these bins. They're picking out, these are all damaged ballots. There are about 2,000, more than 2,000 of them that these people are picking through, checking very carefully, processing them so that they could be counted. Now, we don't know how many of those, of course, might have to be tossed out because they're simply too damaged and you can't tell. We're going to be getting an update on these numbers, by the way, probably within the next hour and a half or so as to, what some of the numbers are for the Biden and Trump campaigns among the damaged ballots coming in. And I'll show you over here when we talk about access that observers have. These are the members of the board counting the damaged ballots and processing them. Right behind them, this lady here in the red and this gentleman here in the blue sport coat, these are observers. These are bipartisan observers. They're being kept in that area behind this chain link fence here. They can't go any closer than they are, but look, they've got access here. They're only a few feet away. They're watching this very closely. We've been told so far no anomalies, no irregularities have been reported to the chairman of this counting facility right here. We just spoke to him a short time ago. Now, after they do these more than 2,000 damaged ballots, and we're going to get the results of those, as we say, in about an hour and a half, then they're going to process more than 4,000 ballots from overseas and military members that are coming in here to Allegheny County. And a short time after that, we'll get those results. So we're going to be bringing you numbers pretty shortly here, Wolf, from Allegheny County. And what's interesting also about this is that we're not going to be able to be here for that much longer, only a few more hours until we get kicked out. Why? Because at about 5 p.m. Eastern time, 29,000 plus ballots that are coming in that have not been counted yet in Allegheny County are going to be processed here. These are ballots. These are mail-in ballots. When they were mailed out to voters, they had wrong information on them. Then they had, by court order, that information had to be corrected. They had to be sent back out, and then those ballots are coming in. They don't start to get counted until 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time today. That count could take a couple of days. They're going to start uploading those numbers, they think, tonight, but we won't get final numbers there until maybe tomorrow, maybe later in the weekend. So the key thing here is Allegheny County, with its 35,000 plus ballots that have yet to be counted and are being counted right now. Are they going to help Joe Biden drive up his margins in Pennsylvania? It's said that this area favors Joe Biden. He spent a lot of time in this area in the later part of his campaign, especially in the last few days. He came here with Lady Gaga the day before the election. So again, Allegheny County crucial with its 35,000 plus total ballots that have yet to be counted. But this is interesting, Wolf. Again, enjoy it while you can watch this, because we're going to get kicked out of here in a few hours. These are very exciting here. First-hand look at the ballots being counted. This is one of the things that really makes us jazzed about covering an election like this and about covering these races that have not been called yet. You're seeing these people. I'm 2 feet away from these guys, and they're doing just some great painstaking work so that these results can come in accurately. Wolf.
Yeah, we are grateful to those poll workers who are doing an incredible job. Brian Todd, thank you very much. So just to recap, John, 9,746 vote lead that Biden has in Pennsylvania right now, and we're told about 95% of the vote is in. So there's still thousands of votes outstanding.
Right, and as Brian just noted, 30,000 plus of them are in Allegheny County. And again, your eyes can tell you, Joe Biden is getting close to 60% of the vote here. He has traditionally been getting even in excess of that in these mail-in ballots, so you can anticipate if Joe Biden has 35,000 ballots and Joe Biden even gets 60% of them, he's going to add to his lead, obviously. That's the biggest chunk of ballots that are still outstanding. You see 9,746. Our math tells you in the last 24 hours tells you that lead is likely to grow. The question is how many? And to Brian's point, being in that room, again, at a time when there's a lot of heated rhetoric, both from the podium at the White House and the President of the United States and on social media, a lot of it from the president and his allies. What you just saw there, I've been in those rooms before. If a Democrat and a Republican standing behind somebody, those are damaged ballots. Sometimes, you're filling out the little circle, you don't get it filled all the way in. So that worker holds it up and says, see, I think this is a vote for Wolf Blitzer. They both look at it and they say, okay, you just didn't finish filling in the circle. Or it's creased in a way that the machine won't read it. The worker holds it up and says, I'm going to call this a vote for Wolf Blitzer. They both look at it. If there's any doubt, one of them says, I object, and they take it over and they look at it and they talk about it. That's how the process works in every election all across America, two people standing right there looking at it. So when you hear people saying there's no transparency, there's people doctoring ballots, if they have any evidence of that, we have things called courts. But what you just saw there is what's happening all over America, right? In close states. In states, the president is winning. In states, the president is losing. That's the way it works. And it is refreshing to see it. Brian's right.
And you and I covered in 2000 Bush v. Gore. We remember the hanging chads, as we all remember. They were coming in from Palm Beach County. And I don't know. What were you saying? Oh, this is Pittsburgh, right? You can see some of the. I remember the hanging chads. It took more than 30 days for them to determine who won Florida, and that was the decisive moment. And it did go all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Just at the mention of hanging chads, there's years of therapy down the drain, right there, Wolf. Look, that was 537 votes in the state of Florida.
In that case, the Supreme Court stopped the count, right? They stopped the count by a 5-4 decision. Okay. Actually, what should have happened was they should have counted everything. And if Gore wins, God bless him. If Bush wins, Bush the son, if he wins, God bless him. That's the way that should have turned out. Okay.
Thought we would never have anything like that. Let's hope that we do not. But again, if anyone has a legitimate complaint, whether it's a race for dog catcher or a race for president, make your case. But don't stand and say things, and then you see pictures like that of honest, hardworking Americans. Who knows what party they belong to? Counting votes. It's a great thing.
And there's nothing wrong with...
And let me make this point also, that one reason why they're counting all the votes now is because of what happened with Bush v. Gore, right? Count all the votes. In fact, this should happen all the time. Okay, they shouldn't call any elections until all the votes are counted, all absentee, all mail-in, all the military ballot, everybody. And then you say this person has won, okay, or the other person has lost. Okay, that's democracy in action. That's what makes America so great.
Counting votes. The president said they all have to be done by Election Day. You can't wait. You can't count anything after Election Day. That's totally unacceptable.
Right. Well, the reason the president is mad, though, is because a lead that was once, go back in time, over 600,000 votes, because they counted the Election Day votes first, and the president dominated that. The president ran a good campaign in Pennsylvania. The president got 3.2 million votes and counting in Pennsylvania. More votes than the president received 4 years ago when he won the state. The problem in Pennsylvania is not that the president turned out his vote. If you're President Trump, your quote-unquote problem is that the other guy got more votes. In America, we don't call it a problem. We call it democracy. And right now, he's winning. Joe Biden is winning. Math, simple. And we'll see where it goes from here. But again, as we're having this conversation, there's a civics lesson for some people who've never seen those recount rooms or those ballot rooms like that. That is blue. That is blue going to a recount, but blue. These right now are staying blue. Joe Biden's lead in Nevada and Arizona, both of those have come down a little smidgen in the count today, but he's still leading in all of them. But if he gets this one right here, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, game over. That gets him to 273, and the rest again. If he can build more, it gives it that. The question of that, if you get this, then the question for these is more when Joe Biden speaks to the American people, not as president-elect, but as president. How much more political power does it give him? How much more leverage? How much more? The question of a mandate will be debated once we get past the moments of today, which is getting these states to the finish line. If that one gets to the finish line, Joe Biden's the next president.
And we were all told, even as little kids in school, every vote counts. That's a democracy. Let the votes count, whether it takes another few days, a few more weeks. It's important that every vote counts in a real democracy. We're going to have more votes coming in very, very soon, we're told, from Pennsylvania. Stay with us as our special coverage continues.